chapter talks about climate. First, it explains that weather is the day-to-day condition on Earth's atmosphere, since climate refers to average condition over long periods. Then, it explains that microclimates are environmental conditions within a small area that differs significantly from the climate of the surrounding area. Continue talking about the climate. The chapter talks about the main factors that affect it, including the solar energy trapped in the biosphere, the latitude, and the transport of heat by winds and ocean currents. Then is explained the phenomenon of the greenhouse effect, that is, a process in which certain gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor trap sunlight energy in Earth's atmosphere as heat. Then it talks about the three Earth climate zones that are polar, temperate, and tropical. And finally, it explains that the unequal distribution of heat across the globe creates the wind and ocean currents, which transport heat and moisture to the air. 4.2 talks about niches and community interactions. It begins explaining that a niche is the full range of physical and biological conditions in which an organism lives, and the way in which the organism uses those conditions. Also, it explains that tolerance is the range of conditions in what one organism could survive. It talks about the competition for resources, explaining that the competitive exclusion principle states that no two species can occupy exactly the same niche in exactly the same habitat at exactly the same time. And also include that instead of compete for the resources, organisms can divide it. And finally, it talks about symbiosis, that is, any relationship in which two species live closely together, in that when the two organisms benefit, that is, mutually. When one organism lives inside or on another organism and harm it, it is parasitic. If one organism benefits and the other is neither helped or harmed, it is commensalistic. 4.4 talks about biomes, and begin explaining that them are described in terms of abiotic factors like climate and soil type, and biotic factors like plant and animal life. After that, it explained that in Earth exist 10 major biomes, which are tropical rainforest, tropical dry forest, tropical grassland, desert, temperate grassland, temperate woodland, temperate forest, northwestern coniferous forest, boreal forest, and tundra. The final point that this part of the chapter takes is the mountain ranges and polar ice caps, and why they are not easily classified into major biomes, saying that the reason of this is because they are not easily defined in terms of a typical community of plants and animals. Finally, the 4.5, the last part of this chapter, talks about aquatic ecosystems. It begins saying that the main factors that affect life there are the water's depth, the temperature, the flow, and the amount of dissolved nutrients. Then it talks about freshwater ecosystems and divided into three main categories: rivers and streams, lakes and ponds, and freshwater wetlands. After that, it talks about estuaries. There are a special kind of wetlands formed where a river meets the sea. And finally, it explains the main parts of the marine ecosystems, which are the intertidal zone, the coastal ocean, the open ocean, the bathic zone, the apathic zone, the benthic zone, and the continental shelf.